afternoon, everyone. Welcome to South Dakota Basketball Media Day. Thank you all for being here. We truly appreciate the hard work of every media member here in this room and all they do to cover South Dakota athletics and our student athletes. Hard to believe that basketball is just right around the corner, but tip-off for both teams is just 26 days away. The women's team will open the season against Midland here at home on November 7th, while the men kick off the season by traveling to Madison, Wisconsin to take on the Badgers. Today you'll hear from both head coaches of our women's and men's teams. In addition, we've invited the senior athletes from both teams to answer any questions you guys might have. And we will begin today's media day with an opening statement from head coach Kayla Karius.
Great. Thank you so much, Evan. Thank you for everybody coming out today. It's really great to see all the coverage that we get and continue to get here at USD and in this area. It's really important for what we do and really special for our student athletes. So thank you so much for coming out today. It has been a busy, eventful last 6 months for us. I just actually was recapping and just realized I still had my press conference notes here in my book, and it feels like a blink of an eye, really, since that day. And it's been a lot of fun since then, a lot of things that we've gotten done. So the spring really started with accumulating our staff and really assembling a great group of people to put around our student athletes. It always starts and ends with the people for me. So we assembled a great staff, a staff I'm really proud of. So to Ty, Gabby, Taylor, Mike, and Taylor, thank you so much for your continued efforts. I think these are the best people to be at this job and to provide a great student-athlete experience for all of our players. So we're really excited about them. We also added 3 new pieces to our player side of the roster management in the spring from the transfer portal. 3 players who we feel are a great fit from a culture side of our program, but also great players too. They really provide some of that instant experience for our team and really have been in games to have the ball in their hands, making big shots, scoring a lot of points in some cases, and other times just wearing a collegiate jersey and knowing how that feels to play on the floor so early in your career. So great pieces we've added throughout the summer. We've mixed the old with the new, and we've had 9 returners, 3 additions from the transfer portal, as well as 2 freshmen, along with a whole new staff. And so it's been a lot of new faces. It's been a lot of getting to know each other. It's been a lot of team bonding and developing some of that chemistry. A huge opportunity for us this summer was to travel to Greece, so that certainly provided a lot of extra time to develop those relationships, to really bond together. When you're sitting on buses and planes and boats, you have that time to really develop that. As well as on the court, we were able to play 3 exhibition games there and start to develop that on-court chemistry as well. So this fall, we've been working really hard. Again, it's been really fun to see a lot of new roles and new opportunities for players who have been here in the past, and also our new additions figure out where they fit and figure out what's next for us. And it's just a really exciting time to be here at USD to build off of an incredible run last year, going to the NCAA Sweet 16, and to really turn the page and start a new chapter, a new era for women's basketball. So we're really excited for the season to kick off shortly.
All right, now we're going to open the floor up for questions for Coach. If you have a question, please track down Mercedes over here. She'll hand you the microphone so that way people tuning online can hear us.
You mentioned obviously getting to play some games in Greece.
Yeah.
That was a quick way to get into playing some games, and obviously with new teams and live action, that's it's good for the experience. But were there any points of emphasis that came up just from having to get on the court so quickly?
Well, there were a lot of pieces to it. I think a foreign tour like that, it really provides that opportunity to have a lot more practices throughout the summer, and we thank our administration and the president of our university for making that opportunity happen. We're really the only Summit League team to consistently send a women's team on a foreign tour, and as long as as much as the NCAA allows us to do that, and that's an incredible opportunity. So for us, a lot of times it's just getting our players on the floor, getting them used to our system, right? With our new staff, what are we emphasizing now, right? So we're looking to play a motion offense style. We're also looking to play a little bit more up tempo. So how do we get into those things and really starting to learn the lingo sometimes that a new staff brings in with, and so developing those on-court relationships, I think, are really, really important. There were a lot of good takeaways from those games. We had some good competition in some games, and in others, just had an opportunity for everybody to get out on the floor. And sometimes that alone is really, really helpful down the road.
And Coach, how much of this offseason has been just trying to build much the offseason has been spent just trying to build that together, so to speak?
Well, the off-season's really important for that, for building those relationships. So we've spent a lot of time together, not just in practices and in workouts, but we've really done a lot of fun team activities off the court here in town and here in Vermilion and giving back to our community. And then certainly when we went on our foreign tour. So it's fun to have those experiences together. I think when you travel, it's one thing. I think when you're standing in front of the Parthenon in Athens, Greece, it's a moment you'll never forget, and you'll never forget the people that were there with you during those moments. So it was a really cool experience. It's been really important, really, over the last 6 months. I think it always starts with those relationships. You have to have that foundation in place for our staff to build that with our players. We have that trust in place now where when we go into games and go into starting to challenge them a little bit more in game situations or tough situations when things don't go your way and adversity hits, you have that trust as the foundation to fall back on, and you know that we're coaching out of a place of love and that we've got that relationship already in place.
With a lot of, minutes and a lot of points from last year gone,
Yeah.
what's kind of the excitement level been amongst the team and competition and practice as players are trying to carve out a role and earn those extra?
Yeah, I'm glad you said it that way. It's a lot of new faces, right, and a lot of new names that are going to be popping up on the box scores. So to put it to paint the picture, we lost 84% of our scoring, 77% of our minutes played. We have 0 starts returning from last year. So what does that mean? That means a lot of opportunities. That means the competition level is really high in practice because we don't really have those set people. We don't have set starters. There's a few people that I think are more go-to players than others right now, but the rest is a lot up in the air. So we're really trying to figure that out, and because of that, it's been a fun challenge because our players really see that opportunity, and the last few days specifically, the competition level has been just through the roof, and this team is amazing because the culture in place is really that this team knows how to compete and they know how to win. Just because maybe they weren't on the floor during the NCAA tournament run as much as other people were who were no longer with the program, they were still preparing for those games. They were still practicing against the Sweet 16 team every single day. And these players, they know how to compete and they know how to win. It's just a little bit of a different role now. You're going to be on the floor with the lights shining bright, and how do we help them transition from that role to the next will be the fun part.
Yeah, so who are some of the players that we should be looking out for this year?
Honestly, we're really excited about so many of them. Clearly, Grace Larkins had a preseason nod here early on, and she's really the one that brings the most USD experience, I think, minutes-wise, back to our team. But she's also a younger player, and so we have a lot of pieces around her that I think are really exciting. I think our 4 seniors that are here today, they really all bring a leadership role along with Grace. It's really exciting. It's fun to see their different personalities come out, and each of them playing a different role. Some of them having a little bit more experience here at USD than others. Some of them having experience, like Madison Grange, for example, at another university for 4 years and choosing to spend her COVID year here with us, and what a great fit she's been. There's a lot of just a core group of players that, there's a lot of players are going to play this year. I really feel like that. It's been fun competitively to see them day in and day out, and sometimes they're shifting between each other. But besides that, I think we just wait and see.
Coach, what has the vibe been like off the court for this team when you've had the chance to get to know them on the foreign tour and in these days of practices where things are ramping up a little bit? I mean, what is just generally the atmosphere like and the vibe like with this new group?
Yeah, we have a great atmosphere about us. I really feel like this team likes each other. They like each other a lot. And again, we're mixing old with new. So this isn't a group of 14 players who have been together for a couple of years. This is really a core group of players that have been here the last few and have had tasted that success and seen it year in and year out and know what that takes here at USD. And then we've got some new additions who know how to win but haven't really done that here and in front of this fan base, and knowing how important it is to wear South Dakota across your chest and play in rivalry games here at USD. So it's a mixture of both, but because we've spent so much time together and because of the culture that's in place, and we've been talking a lot about culture here recently and identifying really who we want to be. And it looks different from past years. We have a lot of core players back, but our team looks very, very different. So we have to be different culturally. What do we want to invest in? Who do we want to be about? And we've been sharing a lot of those ideas and those words to kind of come up with our mantra, really, of who we are. And I think more than anything, we're program over everything. This team wants what's best for each other. They look inside the circle. They are diving on loose balls. They give up their bodies. They sacrifice for each other. And that carries over off the court, too. They have the same exact mindset. They love spending time together. And it's just a really fun group to be around.
Last year, there were a couple players that the team could turn to in the games. I guess who are some of the players that you would expect, like if you need a basket at the end of the game, that you can turn to?
Yeah, well, certainly end of game situations are going to be different for us, right? And learning to trust those players. I think, Grace Larkins, I think, has stepped up this last year and shown really what she can do. Now she's in more of a leadership role, so it's going to be important for her to transition to that, as well as, like I mentioned, with our 4 seniors. I think those 4, as far as Janiyah, Macy, Madison, Pep, I think those 4 are really, they bring such leadership roles. And to put the ball in their hands at the end of the game, I think there's a sense of steadiness. There's a sense of comfort from the younger players that those players have been in those situations before. It's just transitioning them to be the ones to take the shot. But that's the fun stuff that we get to figure out. That's the fun stuff we got to do in Greece and put them in those types of situations. We continue to do that this fall, looking at different options to put the ball in the right hands and figuring out who that is going to be, who is going to step up and confidently make a shot when we really need to.
Natalie Mazurek was a player who got a lot of minutes last year, or coming off the bench, but obviously suffered an injury. How is she doing? Is she going to be ready, for the season opener? Or are you kind of slowly bringing her along?
Yeah, she's coming along. That's what I can say. She's really progressing quite nicely. They're excited about her progress. And it's fun to see her back out on the court. So we've had her back out on there and shooting and getting back involved with the team has been really nice. So we'll continue to monitor her progress.
Sticking to a health question, I guess, overall, the team, how's everybody doing injury-wise, coming back and everything?
Yeah, for the most part, we are healthy. We do have one of our seniors here with us today who this summer suffered a lower leg injury, but we're monitoring her progress as well. And that's a player that we're going to look to for her leadership from the sidelines instead this year as well. But other than that, everybody's looking really healthy, and that's a continued thing day by day we hope for.
From a defensive standpoint, did you experiment with anything in Greece with zones or anything like that, or switching things up?
Well, I really feel like this program has prided itself on tough man-to-man defense. It's really a philosophy that I believe in, that I grew up playing in, and that I think is so vital to our culture. When I first met with this team back in the spring, that was something that came up from them almost right away. Like, this is who we are. We love this part. We love to be tough defensively. So we are really honing in on that. And if that's the buy-in level that we have, and that's been working, I think that's a great way to start. Not saying that's the only thing we'll see, but I think that's going to be our bread and butter for the season. Great, thank you.
Very exciting. Like Coach K had mentioned, we had a lot of experience and kind of people we lost last year that were kind of, I guess, more go-to type of players. But that doesn't mean we don't have a lot of people ready to go on our team as far as transfers coming in, and then again that core group of people that we have returning and freshmen. So it's really fun. There's a lot of excitement. There's been a lot of excitement from when Coach K got here through Greece and even to now, kind of in those preseason, season type of practices. So it's been really fun, really high energy.
And then Macy, with everything that left last year, are you guys kind of anxious to, prove yourselves, have a little chip on your shoulder or anything?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we had a great season last year and it was a ton of fun, and I think we're just looking ahead and we're just excited to get back out on the court together. Kind of putting all of our new pieces together, we're meshing very well, and I think that we're just kind of excited to get out there together and show what we can do together.
Obviously, going through that run last year, how's that sort of, impacted how you guys think about a season like this, when it's so largely a new group, but, you've been as far as you went last year?
Yeah, honestly, like Macy said, it's really exciting to just put all the pieces together this year. It's hard to compare last year's team with this year's team because we're completely different, like Coach K said, and we're just excited to get back on the court and just show the Coyote fans what to expect for this season. So,
Madison, what were some things that led to you transferring here? Like, what stood out about USD?
Yeah, that's a good question. You know, obviously for your last year, you want somewhere where you fit in, where you can make an impact right away. And for me, the coaching staff here was incredible, just with the calls that I've had with them. They care about their players, they care about our success here at USD, and that was a big thing for me, along with the team. I got along with them very well. Had a short visit here, but I just knew right away that this is where I needed to be, and super excited to get going with these girls this year.
Did you ask any of your new teammates about sort of the experience in the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, I watched that run too. You know, I didn't know much about USD at the time, but that run was just so fun to watch. And just knowing that that winning culture here is just a part of who they are, that's just something that is important to me too, and I want to be a part of a winning team. So.
And Janiyah, when you guys graduated as much as you did, like Coach said, no returning starts from last year. What is that competition like amongst the group in practice?
I think every day it's just compete with your best and give the program everything you can. Of course, everybody wants to put their time on the court, but I think also we have a really good culture of if I'm not on the court at a specific moment, I can give my all on the sidelines. But it's very exciting because each day in practice, you see different girls step up in different situations, and it's just very exciting to see what this year has to offer for us.
And Macy, obviously the last couple of years, this team's had a lot of, that kind of that core group of leaders, and now you guys are in that position. Excuse me, what was that trip to Greece kind of like as the leaders trying to bring in these new people and bring everyone kind of together?
Yeah, first of all, our trip to Greece was amazing, and we're so thankful for that opportunity to spend that time with one another, but then also just get out on the court with one another. And I think all the new pieces are meshing very well, and everyone is very willing to do their part no matter what that is, and just kind of adjusting to those new roles, and I think that everyone has done a great job with that so far.
Yeah, I would love to hear from any of y'all what your favorite memories of that Greece trip was. I mean, what stands out with a little bit of time removed from it now? What do you remember? What are you going to look back on and say, wow, that was a really great experience?
For me personally, it was just all the time we got to spend together as a team. We got to go to Santorini. I jet skied with Macy in the Mediterranean Sea. Like, that's something I'll never be able to forget. And that's just one of the many experiences that we were given the opportunity to have by USD, and we're all just very thankful for stuff like that.
Yeah, I would say one of my favorite things is after one of our games, we got to spend a lot of time with the Greek team. We got to eat with them and go to the beach with them, and it was really cool to just hear their experience growing up and playing basketball versus ours, just a different country. So it was really cool to hear from them.
Kind of just to echo these two, just being able to experience new things, even with a little bit of new people, just because we had some new components on our team, and I just think that created a lot of camaraderie. And unfortunately, Madison was not able to go with us, so we are very happy to share our experiences with her, but then create new memories with Madison as we go forward through the fall season and create that camaraderie with her and within our team.
Well, looking ahead, I thought it was interesting when Coach was talking about how big the man-to-man defense has been as part of your identity. What else do you think, even with different personnel, is part of this program's identity that's going to carry forward into this season? What should people know about this group?
I think some of the same themes they should expect to see from us, as far as not even just an X's and O's, but just our identity as players and the fact we want to play gritty and tough, and defense is a component of being gritty and tough. And I think that's going to reflect on all aspects of our game. And then another thing that we have all talked about, which is culture and team unity and just being able to support each other, no matter what that is, whether you're on the court, off the court. And I think that will also reflect onto all aspects of our game.